Okay, so with this video, I thought the information was so valuable that y'all would appreciate seeing what are some of the options that you could offer besides just simply painting a room in order to have more offerings, more options. If you've seen my Craigslist site, I actually, and you can find links below to at least to my websites. Um, if you want to see any of that, it's in other videos too. But basically, just besides painting, I also remove popcorn and I take wallpaper down, so repaint it. And I made some discoveries based on that. For this one room, this is a $700 room. It took me about 2.5 days, and it was about $100 worth of material. So it was pretty much on target for what I wanted to make. So here's a quick tour of the room. And you can see, let's pause that. There I am. You can see a lot of these old rooms, like this is just something I offered, is to basically, it was painted blue over this old wood paneling siding. And I offered to fill in the cracks basically with joint compound to make it flat again. And the customer was like overjoyed. And if you can follow my cursor here, you can see there are some gaps and some dips. So I basically smoothed out the whole wall. This is not where the wallpaper was, but I smoothed this whole wall out using joint compound. And over here, above, behind my head, there is a wall um, that had wallpaper on it. That I, instead of removing, I'll show the video here. It's a little bit of a tour of this one room. That's the wall with the paneling and blue, awful blue paint. And there, okay, so there is a wallpaper wall, and below it is this paneling stuff. So the customer had removed some of the wallpaper. I'm like, just stop. You don't need to do any more of that because it wasn't really coming off that easily. And what I discovered is basically I painted it with straight shellac. Actually, I used some white shellac here first because I still had some in the can. But you can buy a can. I'll leave a link below to a can of shellac, and it's clear liquid. It's like polyurethane. And now I've started using shellac on any raw wood that would bleed that wants paint. So shellac is perfectly clear. It rolled on. It dries very quickly. It smells like alcohol. So I wear the respirator. I'll leave a link for that too. I wear the respirator and roll it out, and then it kind of glues it all to the wall again. And the problem with wallpaper is if water gets through it, like from your paint or from mud, it can soak the paper and the paper might want to come off the wall. So by shellacking it, it's a non-water, um, it's non-based in water, so it doesn't make it bubble up. So you shellac it first, and then you start treating the wall. Like you can sand it a little, re-shellac it. Basically, you get it flat with joint compound after you shellac it. So this is after the shellacking. You can see there's a bit of a sheen to the wall. Put my light on it. That's what that is. But that was a seam. I joint compound over the seams, just like the paneling below. So here's a picture of the whole room. So here is paneling. I worked those lines with joint compound, and this was on the left side of the screen. This panel here is wallpaper, and these are seams that this is post shellacking. It's a can of shellac for like 15 bucks. After dried, I skim joint compound on it. So this is day one prep, and I wanted to get a video of the entire room. So it's a $700 room, old house, and I painted the ceiling as well. And there's a little closet in there that was a total mess. Basically, you go into a place and you fix it up, and the person is overjoyed. So what a mess! I'm like cobbing together bits of wall in here with joint compound and tape, and it's just ugly, right? But the goal is the goal is that I don't want to start this guy. Let's get the next video on here. All right, so here's the mud process. This is the only way I could figure out how to shoot multiple videos and use Zoom, so bear with me here. So I figure it's forgivable, right, that this isn't I'm not a best editor, but like, look, the information's great. I'm really just I think it's great. I would have appreciated having this 2 years ago. But I got mud on my face in the picture, it's great. Anyway, here's some mudding technique. So this is the second application, because those lines sink in after they dry. It takes at least 2 applications. Real simple. It seems like it's going to be an insane amount of work, but it's just not. You just work your way around the room, cover up all the seams. And you probably could prime it by the end of the day with this stuff because it dries so quickly. I keep checking to make sure I'm in the picture. It's kind of hard to tell. I have a little tripod I set up the camera on. So see what I just cleaned off? That little line that was right there, I cleaned it off because that's going to be sanding later if you don't make it perfect. And there'll be bits to knock off with a knife as you put your primer over this. Went around the entire room. Now, this was a panel that got put back up, just so you know. It's this piece of wood. You'll see it in the last video. See, I'm working the 2 knives together. I'm trying to demonstrate that. This looks like the second application. No, actually I have some paint on there. So this is the second application. You could just do primer. I wasted some paint on this because I thought I might get away with 1 application. All right. So I think you get the idea here. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Maybe a little tour of the room. This is the second application on the lines. And some paint is now on the wall too, between. Ceiling is painted, I believe. Let's see what it looks like in there. It's getting better. Putting some mud on there. Flattening it out. I use this mesh tape and mud. Do it in layers. That's probably like paper mache. Just get it flat, all right? And then the last video was pretty close to finished. So this is close to what they paid $700 for. The panel is in. Everything's smoothed out. It's just coming around the room with a really fast drying mud. I think it was called MH. It dries very quickly. I used the mat, a respirator. I'll leave a link for that too. I mean, really use the respirator. It's your brain, right? You want to take care of yourself. And I went around with the light and made sure I had it all pretty flat. And that wall looks better and better from where it was. And those walls will look great after I put the last 2 coats on. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. You know, you can add, like, that would have been a $300 or $400 room. I turned it into a $700 room just by adding on, hey, you want this done, you want that done. And I actually did wind up painting all the trim. And I've now become a believer in using the marquee based on a few comments. I tried it out for trim, not for walls so much so far as for the trim. So anyway, the whole idea is that this is helpful. If it's been helpful for you, if you'd like and subscribe, it helps the whole thing grow and more people get access to this information. I'm just putting it together And I am doing affiliate marketing. So any links I put in here, it's all with the idea that I get quality products to you and I get like 1%, and it doesn't cost you anything if you go through the links, get some books or something. And yeah, I'm always advocating to join Audible, get some books. And if you do, I make like 2 cents on each book. Okay. So anyway, hope this helps.